guys, it's Elisa, and today I have a book review. And this book is amazing, and I want you guys to read it. So this is the reason why I'm making this review, because I want to tell you guys all about it. Not necessarily all about it, but why I love it and why I think you guys should go ahead and read it. This book is Arsen by Mia Asher. I do want to thank my friend Gabby for recommending this book to me, and please never stop recommending books to me. Every time you do, they always end up being amazing, so thank you. What I'm going to go ahead and do first, which is something I've never done before on a review, is I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis for you just so that you guys can kind of get some insight of what it's about, and then I'll kind of go from there. What it says is, one glance was all it took. I'm a cheater, I'm a liar, my whole life is a mess. I love a man, no, I love two men, I think. One makes love to me, the other sets me on fire. One is my rock, the other's my kryptonite. I'm broken, lost, and disgusted with myself, but I can't stop, and this is my story, my broken love story. And just one, with Gabby recommending it to me, two, with the synopsis, I was super intrigued to want to go ahead and read it. So this story follows Kathy and the decisions that she makes. This story isn't just a story about cheating, because obviously I just read that from the synopsis, so that's not a spoiler. It's the emotion behind it, like what leads her to do what she does, because it's not like she woke up wanting to cheat on her fantastic husband Ben. There were things that led to it, and the story is the why. Like, what led to it? What made her do what she did? Was it because she felt inadequate? Is it because she felt unworthy, unloved? Like, what is the reasons why she did what she did? And that's what this story is about. And it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. You're gonna at times be frustrated. You're gonna be swooning at the lusty moments. You are going to be swooning at the sweet moments, because there are some sweet moments. This story broke me down, and I wouldn't want it any other way. It left me so emotionally drained, and I loved it. I loved it for that reason. It had me crying, and oh god, I was just such a mess after I finished it, but I loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the spoily part. Some more information of the book in case you guys want to go ahead and know a little bit more before you pick it up. So by all means, continue watching if you want to know more information. So with Kathy, what's going on is, like, her and her husband have been together for like 10 years, and he is described as the love of her life, you know, the man that she never thought that she would have. He's gorgeous, he's caring, he's funny, he makes her feel sexy. You know, she never thought that she would have someone like that. And they find out that she has a problem with being pregnant, like being able to stay pregnant. She's had multiple miscarriages, and every time she has a miscarriage, it like darkens her heart, and it makes things difficult for her in the sense where she starts to feel inadequate and unworthy of Ben's love. And Ben is super supportive, super positive, and it annoys her. It pisses her off, basically. She doesn't like that Ben is so positive. Like, when she just wants to hide under a blanket and cry or wallow or whatever, like, Ben doesn't let her, and it kind of starts aggravating her. That has already started taking a toll on their marriage. Like, Ben's he seems clueless, but as you read the story, you know that he's not as clueless as she makes him out to be. But he loves her so much. Like, he loves her with this passion that he would do anything for her. And while I was reading the story, I was like, how can you do this to this man that loves you so much? So it was making me dislike her so much, because, like, right off the bat, you realize that Ben is such a great guy, and she's doing these things to him. Like, first it's kind of like emotional, and it's just like her being very standoffish and not wanting to be lovey-dovey with him, like kind of blaming him. Like, I don't know if she's not outright blaming him, but I think like subconsciously she's blaming him, like, for what's going on. Like, she just doesn't have that same feeling she did when they were first, dating, or before the first miscarriage happened. Like, enters Arsen. Arsen is described as this cocky rich boy who thinks he can have anybody at the snap of his fingers, and they meet because of work. Right off the bat, he's cocky and he's trying to get with her, and she's intrigued by him, but she's fighting it. Like, she's like, I have a husband, and no, this is wrong. And they have this, I don't even know how to describe it, this encounter that I didn't like at all between them, and she puts him in his place, and that's it. Time progresses, he starts to work with her because his father thinks that he needs to learn morals and a work ethic. They end up working together, and he's flirting with her, and she tells him, don't, like, I don't want, I'm married, like, stop, like, so he's like, I'm just gonna be a friend, I don't mean anything by it, whatever. But she liked flirting with him, and right there, like, my light bulb was like, stop, stay away, you have a gorgeous, loving husband, stop right there. But she still likes to kind of flirt with him, and then she ends up pregnant. So, from her husband, he kind of pulls back on his flirting, but then they go out for lunch, and again, my warning bells start going off when she ends up telling Arsen what's going on with her, and she starts telling him all these feelings that she should be telling her husband. She's not. She's telling Arsen. And I get it. She wants a friend, and I get that it's difficult for her to maybe go ahead and talk to him. Honestly, I've never been in that position, so I can't imagine where her thought process was. So I get sometimes you want to have a sounding board and tell someone else before you tell the right person, like, So the way he's described and the way that he's looking at her, you can tell he's falling for her more and more. Like, he's getting, his little crush is turning into more. And he tells her, like, he's going to be there for her. And he meets Ben, and there's this really awkward meeting. Like, you can tell Arsen is so jealous and so pissed off that Ben is there, like, that it makes Kathy, like, not understand why he's acting the way that why he does. Like, she seems so naive about it, but I'm kind of like, how can you not tell that he's, like, jealous of your husband? Like, there's just, like, those instances, like, oh, I hated her for it. Like, I'm like, you're putting yourself in this situation, like, stop it. And then the inevitable happens, and with that, all her reasoning goes out the window, and she goes darker, and she pushes away, and there's this scene where Ben is just begging her to, like, let him help and just to be positive, and she's not having any of it at all. And at this point, she hasn't talked to Arsen in like a month or something, and he texts her, and he's like, let's meet up. And I was like, don't go, don't go, don't go. She goes, and she ends up cheating, and it's this downward spiral where she's just making mistake after mistake, and in between that, you're reading this, you're getting these flashbacks of Ben, and my heart is breaking more, and at this point I've already cried, like, I don't know how much, because I'm like, you're gonna hurt Ben, and stop it, like, and it just goes from there. And first she's kind of sly about it, and then she gets to a point where she doesn't care, and Arsen is just pressuring her, like, me or him. Oh my god, like, the decisions that she makes and the things that happen after that are amazing and heartbreaking. And when Ben finds out, because gonna find out. Like, I'm not even gonna touch that. Like, you need to just read it. Like, I'm not gonna touch that whole scene because it is so emotionally heartbreaking, and the ending is such a surprise. Like, it's so, I never expected it, but I loved it. It has its redeeming qualities. And with Arsen, I my feelings are still like kind of up in the air when it comes to him. Like, I when I finished the story, I sent a tweet to the author telling her how much I love this book, and she asked me, like, who was I rooting for in this book? And I told her that I was rooting for Ben. I had always been rooting for Ben. And she asked me, is it because of the cupcakes or the ice cubes? And when you read the story, you'll understand what that means. And what I told her was that he captured my attention with the cupcakes and he kept it with the ice cubes. And she was just like, she's like, you're my kind of girl. I was like so fangirling when she messaged me back and everything. And I mean, when it comes to Arsen, I have mixed feelings. The epilogue, I enjoyed it because it gave me a little bit more of what I wanted to know, but it still left me not liking Arsen. I want to like him. Like, I want to be like, well, you made mistakes and you're young and whatnot, but I couldn't because of Ben. Like, I'm sorry. I thought, like, I guess my feelings aren't that mixed now that I'm thinking about it more. I don't like the things that he did, like some of the things that he did. Like, I get that he was in love too, but it's just kind of like, you don't cross that line. I'm not telling you the whole story. Like, yes, I'm giving you some spoily parts and stuff and whatnot, but the story, there's a lot that you take out of it when you read it because it gives you those flashbacks. There's stories within the stories. Like, when it does the flashbacks, like, it tells you things about Kathy and Ben together and the things that Ben did together, and you fall in love with Ben. I mean, there might be some people that are like pro Arsen, which is, I guess, fine, to each their own, but I am Ben all the way, and there's some things that I'm leaving out, of course, because if I tell you the whole story, you're not going to want to read the book. So you guys should check it out. Just be ready with Kleenex, ready to go through all these emotions. You're going to go through frustrations. You're going to want to go through wanting to choke the heck out of Kathy. You're going to want you're gonna hate her. Like, I hated her. I hated her. I was just like, why are you doing this? And then there's redeeming qualities. There are redeeming qualities. There are things that are discovered, and I loved it. I loved every moment of this story, and I hope you guys check it out. So there you go. This is my book review on Arsen by Mia Asher. I hope you guys check it out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions about this book, or if you've already read it before, let me know in the comments down below. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!